Hello there, mothers of nations. We are here again. I believe you are noting all what we're talking about, and I know you are a better mother of nations now. I'm learning from all our mommies and sisters that have been talking to all of us. I'm also learning, and I believe you are. And today we have a new person with us, a wonderful woman. And we are going to talk to you about not a particular woman this time around. We are going to talk about some women. You'll know that later. We are here with Mrs. Ayabime Adebayo. Although she's from Edo State, but she's our wifey now because she's married to a Yoruba man. And they're happily married, and they have children who are already married. So she's qualified to be a mother of nations. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
She's self-employed. She's a Christian, a practicing Christian, and a prayer warrior. Wow. You see what we're going to talk about now. She qualifies for that. And she's an intercessor, yes. As a prayer warrior, definitely an intercessor. She actually studied special education. You know what that means? Special education for special children. And she specialized in the blind. And she owns a boutique here in Lagos. And she's here with us to talk to us on a very, very, very important topic for women. And now we're going to look into the women intercessors in the Bible. Who is the best to talk to us on this, if not a prayer warrior and an intercessor herself? So, because I had felt some of her prayers, and I know God is really answering her. So today she's going to talk to us, show us some of these women who are prayer warriors, who are intercessors, who have interceded in prayers at the time, in their own time. So you're welcome.
Thank you for having me, ma.
Okay. So in a statement, just let us know who an intercessor is, or the intercessors in the Bible. What is common within them?
An intercessor is one who puts aside her own problems, her challenges, her own requests, and concentrate on other people by praying for other people and praying them through, if I could put it that way.
Okay, but you know what? Women do pray.
Yes, we do pray.
We do pray.
Yes, we do pray. But
aren't we intercessors?
But we're a bit selfish. We're a bit selfish. We concentrate on our immediate family.
Yes, so
at times we concentrate on ourselves and say everybody should take care of themselves. But then we'll move it on to my husband, my children, and that's it. Any other person's child is none of my business. Hey. But you've forgotten that your child will mix with that any other person's child.
Eventually.
So if you do not stand in gap for that any other person's child, then you haven't done a good job.
Did you get that? You need to stand in gap.
Yes.
For others.
Definitely.
You need to. Definitely. She's going to tell us the reasons why you need to.
The reason why is that when you pray for other people, you are indirectly praying for yourself. Because God will not, you're leaving your matter to attend to somebody else's. And God will not leave yours. He will attend to yours. So while you're praying for other people, God is attending to your own matter.
Okay.
And
so it's like you are rewarded.
Yes.
For praying for
yes. Bible says
even if it's only that, please, let's stand in gap for others. So who is an intercessor? And then let's go into
an intercessor is a person that I won't say devotes her time or his time in praying people through. I mean, I found out that God called me back in 1994. Anywhere I went to and I saw any sick person, I would just start crying. And then I want to pray. I want to pray for that person. So it's more like you coming out of your comfort zone, suppressing your own problems and needs, and taking over somebody else's.
Okay. Thank you very much. So how do I know that I am an intercessor? Is it only when I have burden for you or for my country or for anybody, any issues or anybody, that I know that I'm an intercessor?
How do you know? You can know by the kind of people that come to meet you, to talk to you. You find out that people can easily come to talk to you about their problems. You meet somebody for the first time and the next thing the person is doing is sharing his or her problems. Indirectly, the person is telling you, I need you to. Without the person knowing that you're an intercessor, oh, I need you to pray for me.
Okay, I understand. Because earlier you said when you see sick people, you kind of have this burden in yourself and you are restless in your spirit until you pray and continue to pray. And you know that it's not everybody that can really come to you. It's like some of us find ourselves watching the TV and we see tumult or something in a faraway land. And you are sleeping, you are just thinking about that. Does that make you an intercessor?
Thinking about it is different from praying about it.
Thinking about it until you now pray and handle it in prayer.
Yes. But then you say you're just interceding because you don't know the person and you don't know what the person is going through. You're just looking at the gloss image of the person.
Okay.
But being an intercessor is when you take somebody like, you know that Nigeria is.
Okay.
So you want to take Nigeria and you might not be able to pray Nigeria through.
But you are praying for Nigeria.
You're praying for Nigeria.
Or you are praying for Lagos. Let's take it closer home. You're praying for Lagos State. Knowing the issues of Lagos.
Yes.
So women out there, you need to be involved in issues of your land, of your country, and of other people, so that you'll be able to pray for them. And when you are praying for them, it means you are qualified to be called an intercessor. And you heard from the beginning that intercessors are rewarded by God. So let's even put the rewards aside. Let's talk about real intercessors and the intercessors in the Bible.
Right. Okay. We have quite a number of them. We'll start with Miriam, who's Moses' sister.
Okay.
She was a prophetess, actually.
Yeah, she was.
And she was like a gap between Moses and the women.
Okay.
She was the gap between... Moses was like a god to Aaron. She was a gap between the women and Moses.
Okay.
So if you find out that when they crossed over to the other side,
about the Red Sea,
she actually came up with a song that she taught the women, a prayer song that they sang in praising God and
in prayer. Okay.
So she's like a gap between Moses and the women.
The Jewish women.
Yes.
At that time.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I was going to ask you a question. Why does anyone need an intercessor?
Wow, we all do need one person or the other to
I can
help.
pray on my own, can't I?
Yes, you can. But
anybody can pray?
There's something called group prayer.
Okay.
There's something called prayer chain. I have a need. I have a nagging need in my head. And at the same time, I'm a bit overwhelmed. And I don't want to use the word depressed, but
mostly
down. So I need somebody that will like mind spiritually, that can help me. I just give a little example. A friend of mine a few weeks back, she had issues. but she needed people to help her, to lift her up spiritually. So she got about 6 different people that were like minds and say, please, I have this problem. I can't pray through. I need you to join me to pray through. That's what we're supposed to do.
Okay.
Help each other.
Okay.
Pray through.
I could lift a word from what you just said, that the prayer of others help to lift.
It's just helping you
to lift that one
person up. Yes, because she's down right now, so she needs the support.
I can identify with that, because at times when you are down and you have need to pray, at that time, maybe lazily of me and so on, I just start to pray in spirit. But it will be wonderful for me to get people to lift me up at that time and pray with me.
Yes.
Pray with is different from pray for.
No, pray with.
Praying with
because
me.
You are the one that
because
owns
I have
the
to be part of it.
You have to be
not
part
just
of it.
somebody, one prophet or somebody praying for me.
No.
I want us to get that clear, because men these days, women will run to one prophet, one pastor all over the world to pray. So I want you to please give us some.
The mistake they make is that
clarify
if you run to a prophet to pray for you, it still has hundreds of people coming to the same prophet to pray for them. So how much time will he have to pray for all of you? So you must have this support system where you have 3 or 4 very good, I don't want to say friends, but like sisters that you know that who you can tell your problems to. And you know that when you turn your back, they will not laugh at you.
And they will not be a member of your tail.
And then they will hold you in prayer and just keep praying with you until you feel easy and get better. And then the situation begins to clear up.
Okay. So we are not saying that prophets and pastors are not intercessors.
Yeah.
We are not saying that you cannot approach them for prayers. All we are saying is they are busy on their own. They have lots of people going to them. Yeah. So they may not be able to treat your matter the way it should be treated. Yeah. That is the prayers you need. You could get people with you that will identify with you and then pray along with you. And then pray through with you. All right, let's go on. Thank you.
So the second one is Zepporah, Moses' wife.
Okay, Zepporah, yeah.
Yes. It was when they were going back to Egypt and God wanted to slay Moses. She intervened by interceding for him and circumcised her boys.
Wow.
Because Moses was taking them back uncircumcised. And so she quickly circumcised.
Now, it's like you are talking in riddles. Some of us may not understand what you're talking about. You know what? You know why I appreciate what you're saying? We are not talking about Moses here or his boys and so on.
Yeah.
But I read a book where we were told that because Moses himself was really we were not sure if he was circumcised. He was because he was a baby. He was some months old
with his mom.
But the boys were not.
They weren't.
Because they were not in Egypt, with the Israelites, the Jews. So they were not, and she knew the consequences of him taking them back
without being circumcised.
They won't be part of the Jews. Yeah. And there are some covenants that they will not be part of. Please go on.
So she was like a plug between God and her boys. That's what mothers do. Virtually all mothers are intercessors because one thing or the other, you want to stand up for your husband or your children.
I think that's our main duty.
So that's what she did. That's what she did. She stood in between and quickly circumcised her boys so that God doesn't slay their father. That's the only thing per se that she really did, but she was qualified to be an intercessor.
Standing in the gap for our children.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there, mothers, it's not only in prayers that you can
It's not. It's
that you
not.
can stand in the gap. There are some tough issues like this that you have to face. Some tough, unpleasant issues that you have to face as a mother. And what are some of those?
Child's health,
Child's health.
career,
Okay.
when they're about to get married.
Okay. So there are some issues. Some parents, you need to put your nose
Oh, yeah.
into some issues, and don't be frightened or be intimidated. Just try your best in your own little way. Put your nose into your children's matters by being an intercessor. Let's go on.
Okay, so the next person is Huldah. Surprisingly, I didn't hear about her until I was studying. Huldah, that's in Second Chronicles. And then,
Yes, I did.
she was a prophetess during King Josiah's reign. Yeah, although she didn't quite, or like Esther that brought deliverance to the people.
Okay,
But she couldn't, because the Jewish people had gone so far into sin that there was, well, at that point in time, there was no redemption, you know, and God spared King Josiah because he repented. But most of the Israelites then were killed off because they had gone too far into
sin.
Into sins.
But we learned that Huldah, was an intermediary
between God and the king, because she was like a prophetess. So whenever the king sends his people to the temple to go and inquire what God is saying, so she's the one that will say, okay, God said this, God said that. Was then God told.
Women were really limited in their even appearances in the temple and so on. So for her to be able to relay messages to the king, that means she was really in use of God, and she stood as an intercessor for that king. So as women nowadays, are we interceding for our kings, for our presidents, for our governors? Are we? Are we doing enough?
Unfortunately, we're not doing enough.
Maybe just the household of the governor and the president will do that. But so all of us out here, and we'll be crying and we'll be complaining and criticizing. So what should we have done better?
Pray more.
Pray more for them.
Yes.
Are we listening?
Because
we have to pray more for our leaders. Even the Bible says so.
Yes.
And we should pray for them. We should intercede for them.
Because when it gets better up there, it trickles down.
Yeah.
We're
so, be better for it.
Yeah, we're so into ourselves that, it's me, my family, no. But then it's like Nigeria is like a big family.
Okay.
Nigeria is like a big family.
Okay.
So when it's good for the head, it's good for the neck, and then it trickles down.
All right. Okay, thank you. So let's go on.
Now, the main intercessor in the Bible was Esther.
Queen Esther.
Yes. From Esther. A lowly estate and God lifted her up to become the queen. Like I said, she came from a lowly estate up, and then when she became queen, she could have said, I'm queen now. I don't need anybody.
I'm comfortable.
Whatever happens to you guys will happen to
Face
you guys. But I think upbringing matters, because she was taken by her uncle when her parents died. He was like an intercessor to her by bringing her up.
Yes, he was.
So it was about a payback time for her, and she stood in gap by saying, okay, you all fast for 3 days for me. Because then anybody who went to the king without being summoned, if he doesn't lift up his scepter, that's death instantly. So she said, you guys intercede for me and fast for me for 3 days. No food, no water. And then I will go to the king. If I perish, I perish. She was ready to give up her life for her people.
Okay.
And they fasted. She went to the king and he lifted up the scepter. And the rest is history. She won the battle.
So let's slow down. Esther was favored by the king. And so she knew she was favored. She knew she was loved by the king. And she could at least take that for granted. And then just pray. And then go ahead. She would have lost her life. She could have lost her life. But what I'm trying to say is, Esther took it upon herself. But the uncle actually came in there.
Yes.
Said, you seem comfortable over there. And you are not really sure if this issue is why God put you there.
Yeah.
And so you have to do something, otherwise your people are gone. And she promptly took the matter up with God. And was praying. She was praying, but like you said, she got back up.
Support system.
She told the husband, pray along with me for the next 3 days without food. I'm going to fast, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to go straight to the king. And you know the implication? If I go there, he may decide, but pray. And what I'm trying to say is she believed in that prayer.
She did, but at the same time, she said, if I perish, I perish.
Okay. Mind you, even those 3 boys of the Hebrew boys, they were adamant because they were sure of their God. They said, King Nebuchadnezzar, we are not bowing to your God.
Yeah.
Do whatever you like to us. We trust our God. He will rescue us. But even if he doesn't, we are ready to die.
Yeah.
You know, I just believe she was just saying, I am ready for whatever
will happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I perish, but keep praying. I believe God will hear this. Because after praying, I am going in. And the people, I'll actually say, she was an intercessor for the children of Israel. And those people praying too were interceding on her behalf.
Yes.
So double intercession. And of course, like you said, the rest is history. The children of Israel actually won the battle. And we believe that. So I want you to talk to our women, especially those are women who are married to our orgas at the top. What should they be doing at this time when people are restless, when all sort of things are happening in the country, and all of them will say, hey, Buhari, hey, Tinubu, hey, we keep mentioning governors and I'm saying they are the source of our problems.
No. The problem starts with each and every one of us.
So what do we do?
Interceding doesn't mean...
Spiritually now.
Okay, we'll pray. But you see, intercession, it comes in different branches. There's the physical aspect.
Okay.
There's the spiritual aspect.
All right. So what I want you to clarify that intercession is not only, you are saying intercession is not only praying to God.
Praying.
Okay. Let us know what it entails.
There's a physical aspect.
Okay.
You can't come to me now and say, please pray for me. I haven't eaten in 3 days. I want food. And I said, okay, the Lord bless you. The Lord will provide food for you. And I let you go. No. I will pray for you. And I will meet that need.
Meet the need. Maybe mothers of nations out there, are you listening? People need not only your prayers, they also need you to meet their needs, no matter how small. In this time, in this season, in what we're all facing, don't just say, God bless you, go in peace. No, please see what will really make them be at peace. What will really make them to be fulfilled. Maybe their hunger, if you don't have much, split what you're having to do and give them. The blessings will go to them and come back to you.
And then a woman just wants to sit with you and just pour her heart out. And all she wants you to do is listen. And then at the end of it all, tell her it's going to be okay. That's all. You've interceded right there. Oh, don't worry, it's going to be okay. I'll be praying for you. That's intercession too.
Well, I want to put everything together to say intercession is not only when you go between God and the person.
Yeah.
Intercession is doing what God wants you to do to the person.
Putting a smile.
Am I right?
Putting a smile on somebody's face. Being a blessing.
Being warm to
Being a
people.
blessing.
Being warm to people. Putting on a smile. Yes, putting on a smile. To somebody, I read of a man who after he jumped into, well, I won't mention the river because I'm not sure now, jumped into a river. By the time they looked into her pocket or bag, know how it's almost so, they saw a note he wrote, as I'm going, if I get somebody to smile at me or to say hello to me, I'll return back home. Nobody. He could not get anyone to say hello to him or to smile at him. And he jumped to the river. Does that tell you anything, my dear sisters, my mothers of nations out there? Does that tell us anything? I'm learning also. Smile to that person going past you. Say hello to anyone, a child or anyone going around you. Say hello. I went to my hometown. I'm from Ijebu, for your information. I went home one day. Every corner, every street, when you see some people sitting there, they kept greeting. I said, these people can greet too. I realized it made me feel good. Yeah. I felt good. Yeah. So let's make people feel good. I think that's all we're talking about. In our prayers, in our relationship, as we go past people on the road, let's smile. Let's put on a smile. It doesn't cost you anything, does it?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And by sharing.
Okay. Sharing.
Sharing is another way to intercede.
To intercede, yes.
You have 500
I think
dresses.
interceding is meeting people's needs.
Meeting the need of someone, yeah.
Yeah.
You have 500 dresses in your wardrobe, but you go to church every Sunday. I see a particular woman wearing just one every Sunday, and you change yours every Sunday. You can intercede by giving her something.
Okay. We're learning. Aren't we? I'm learning. Let's go on. So who is next?
We have Deborah.
Yeah, the powerful Deborah.
Deborah.
My heroine. Yeah. I love that woman.
She had victory. She got victory, unlike Huldah. She got victory, but she told Barak. Barak could not go to war without her. I mean, she was like his support system, so he wanted her to be there. He wanted her to be there.
She refused. Say it this way: he refused to go without
her, because she was his support plug and support system. But she told him, "I'm going with you." Doesn't mean that you will win the battle.
That the woman will
but it's a woman that will take the glory. Okay. God was going to give Sisera up to a woman to kill.
So Deborah actually she was a prophetess.
She was a prophetess.
Stood in the gap for the children of Israel generally, and won. So let's quickly, we really don't have time. Let's quickly go.
And next one is Hagar.
We are going to study Deborah very soon. Yes. So let's just rush.
Okay. So the other one is Hagar.
Okay.
Abraham's concubine. Stood in.
I won't call her Abraham concubine.
She was a concubine.
The Bible actually said, call her his wife. I mean, it didn't really mention concubine. Well, because Sarah handed her to him.
Okay.
Does that qualify her to be a concubine? Maybe I don't understand concubine, but let's not call her concubine here. So the wife voluntarily, Sarah voluntarily handed her over to Abraham.
So we could call her Ishmael's mom.
Okay.
Because she didn't qualify as a wife. She wasn't married.
She didn't, but she wasn't.
She was a slave.
It was somebody's mistake that made her what she.
Yes.
That put her where she was.
Because in the olden days, Old Testament, the mistress can give her slave to.
Okay, I'm not
So
disagreeing.
she's not a wife. She wasn't a wife.
I'm not disputing that fact.
Okay.
That it wasn't a legal thing. I mean, to a cultural thing.
Right.
But she wasn't a concubine.
All right.
Is that what concubine I'm really not comfortable about?
Okay. She was okay. So
let's go.
Abraham's wife. Then okay.
Ishmael's mother.
Ishmael's mother.
Okay, I understand.
Then the only place where we saw her interceding was when
for a child.
Yes, for her son, when Abraham sent her away. When
the boy was thirsty and thought you thought he would actually die. And turned
she that was the second time that because the very first time there was that same water, the river was there, but by the second time that they were coming, God had shut her eyes to it. So that's why she put the boy away, to say she doesn't want to see him die. And then
and they prayed for him.
Prayed, and God.
So we still have some. Just reel over them.
Hannah,
we really don't have time.
Samuel's mom. We saw how she prayed to have Samuel, and then made a vow to God that if God gave her that child, she was going to lend the child over to God for the rest of his life to work in the temple.
That is what I was waiting for, to walk in the temple, because it's like she knew God's need for the temple.
She made a vow.
She made what I'm saying, she made a vow to give the
God
boy.
That she was going to
so she met a need. That's what I'm trying to say. She met a need for the temple.
Yes, she did. And then for lending to God, God gave her, I think, 6 other children.
I think,
yeah, that's right.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Well, then
so we have Rahab.
Rahab.
Rahab was a prostitute or the harlot in what was that place?
We see how many of them. We have to really
quickly. Rahab stood in gap for the children of Israel. We should say,
her and her family, for herself and her
because
family.
she first hid the spies and then got them to covenant with her that if they come.
To take care of her family.
And if you find out that she has the lineage of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Because she gave birth to Boaz.
Yes. And she never stopped praying.
Yes.
She kept praying. That was good.
Anna, the prophetess, prayed until Jesus.
Anna, A-N-N-A. Not Hannah, the first, the mother of Samuel.
A-N-N-A.
Okay.
The prophetess in the temple waited for the birth of Jesus Christ. And she was one that
and she kept praying
until
the Lord, the Savior came in. Okay, Priscilla now
was a tent maker. After her husband, they sell the tents to feed, and then they use the proceeds to propagate the gospel.
Okay. So we have the next 3. Let's rush.
Then we have the Shunammite woman was interceding for her son too. Martha was interceding for her brother Lazarus, and Abigail was interceding for her husband Nabal, who got eventually killed. And I
believe some of us remember we had gone through we had talked about Abigail, and we realized how Abigail actually stood in the gap for her husband when he was going to get himself and the whole community killed by David. And she succeeded in...
David would have wiped them out completely.
And he did it. She did a good job. Thank you so much. So, mothers of nations out there, who are you interceding for? Who are you standing in the gap for? Where in the world, which particular country or your country are you interceding for? What community are you interceding for? Let's put it in our prayer list, Abi.
Yes.
Let's slot it in our prayer list to intercede for somebody. Apart from people around you, most of us, when we reel out all the name of your children, your grandchildren, so pray for those ones, but add more. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So definitely. In one sentence, just talk to them while we round up.
We need each other. We need to pray for each other. You don't have to know me to pray for me. I don't have to know you to pray for you. But there might just be one woman in your neighborhood that doesn't have a child. So you pray for her and then say you use as a point of contact for every other woman.
Thank you so much for coming. We really enjoy this. We are blessed by it and we have so much to take home.
Thank
so
you.
much messages to take home.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you so much. Mothers of nations out there, you've heard that again. Don't be guilty of not being an intercessor. Let us intercede for our community, for our nation, for that woman across your road, for even those one that you don't know. Intercede. And like we know, you will be rewarded. Thank you so much. See you again. God bless you.